G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game of Age of Mythology Retold. Today, we've got ourselves a little bit of a Norse mirror matchup, but don't fret too much. There's a little bit of differences. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. In the north of the map, in the color red, playing as Thor. It is Illuminati. And on the south side of the map, in the color blue, playing as Odin. It's hashtag. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on Giza. At least I think this is Giza. I'm 99% sure this is a Giza map. Looks like a bit of a Giza. You look like a Giza. I'm a Giza. We're all Gizas here. Let's take a look and see what Illuminati has got in store for us, because today he's playing on Thor. And you guys will know I love Thor. I think it's such a fun civilization to play. Let's ride on board with him. It looks like he's going to be starting us off with the Dwarven Armory. Probably going to be looking to get some early upgrades. Remember that with the Dwarven Armory, you do have access to your upgrades. Every single upgrade, you can get it in the first age. And every single upgrade that you get is going to give you that dwarf. And so it means the sooner that you get it, the sooner it's going to pay off. So let's do some quick math here. You guys like quick math, right? I've got a dwarf here. He's gathering at 1 food every second. That means over 60 seconds, he gives me 60 resources. So every minute, I'm getting 60 resources. So if I'm going to get one of these technologies, so this one that just came in, where I got a free dwarf, it's costing, I think, 75.75. I'd have to double check exactly what the numbers are. We can wait and see, because there's 3 technologies that you normally want to prioritize. Here you go. So we've got copper weapons and copper shields. So copper shields is 75.75, so that's 150. So basically that means within 2.5 minutes, you're going to have paid off copper shields, and for copper weapons, it's a little bit over 3 minutes that you're paying it off. But you've got to consider, when you're getting it this early, 2 minutes into the game, 3 minutes into the game, that is super duper early. And it means that these fills are basically going to be paid off by the time you reach the classical age. That's what makes Thor so damn cool when it comes to this kind of strategy. So it looks like at this stage, Illuminati, I don't know if he's got 100% of a plan, because there's not a whole lot of wood gathering going on, and normally that's what you really need to be happening here. You can see Illuminati now going to be heading out onto the wood at the top side. 3 vills going out there. I think I know what he did. I remember, I think Boyd had a video where he was talking about it, and he said that you... Wait, oh, okay, he's dropping off at the ox cart. I think Boyd had a video where he was talking about how you go into the tree, and you gather it up all the way, except for 15 wood. Maybe I'm just imagining something, but I remember him saying something about that. So maybe that's what we've seen. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit more of a turtle style coming out here for Illuminati today. Just because that to me seems like the most natural style to actually be playing as Thor. I don't think you really want to get out on the map too early with this civilization, with this faction. But speaking of getting out on the map, let's go take a look at Odin. Currently considered by many to be one of the strongest civs. I think, you know, I'm not going to do a tier list when it comes to the strength of civilizations, just because I don't think I've got the credibility yet, or not even the credibility. I don't think I've got the know-how just yet. But when it comes to the strength of certain civs, I feel like Odin is up there, Hades is up there, Gaia is definitely up there as well. But I think we probably need to see a couple more high-level games. You know, we haven't really watched those Mr. games. We haven't watched Magic games, Recon games, that sort of thing. The Age Up comes through. Of course, it's going to be Freya with the Valkyrie. Of course, that burning forest, that forest fire rather, is going to be a potential threat here. Hashtag just chilling in the base for the moment. Plenty of goats underneath. What's the plan, hashtag? What are you going to be up to today? Just going to be biding himself a little bit of time here. Spots the temple now coming down from Illuminati. Very late temple. You can see with this temple only coming up 13 seconds to go. His age up time is going to be it's almost going to be 5:30. It's going to be very, very delayed. Let's ride on board with Illuminati and take a look at it. I'm looking forward to seeing all the builds start to get optimized as well. That's another thing to note. Just because at this stage, we're still quite early on with how the builds are going. But I found a couple of optimizations, like especially with Thor, where you can get like an age up at about 4 minutes 20, 4 minutes 25, and you can get all 3 techs as well. So I'm looking forward to that one sort of getting out there into public, and then all of a sudden, excuse me, all of a sudden you've got everybody playing Thor because it's a super duper good build. But we do have on the other side of the map, it's going to be 4 SETI, so going to look to play into the troll, look to play into the healing, spring a little bit more on the defensive, and you can hear that forest fire up towards the north. And as is with every forest fire, it is underwhelming. This god power just doesn't feel like really belongs here. At least it doesn't feel like... I don't know, man. It's hard to describe the way I feel about Forest Fire without using the word disappointing, because that is what it is. Like, every single time I see Forest Fire, it's like, okay, you did a little bit of damage to villagers, and then we had to make another storehouse. But the truth is, we just moved our ox cart over here. Like, there's literally no damage that's been done. So, it's always a little bit painful. But house is now going to start coming up on top of all of these sentry towers, looking to keep them nice and safe. Longhouse in the back of the base as well. Now Freya going to be repelled here by the Hearse here. You can see we've got the double Hearse. In fact, I just realized we haven't done it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Relic review. The Arrow of Heracles increases the attack of ranged soldiers and ranged heroes. It's only 5%, and it's a very specific type, but it's definitely the type of attack that you want. I'm going to say this is an A tier relic. Great relic. Over towards the east side, we've also got the Archimedes Ledger. Siege weapons take less population space, so -1 population count. I don't think this is particularly strong. Like, obviously, it's nice to have, but you're really not making as much siege like you would be in Age of Empires 4. So because of that, I feel like it's maybe at best a C tier. Over towards the east side, we've also got the Eye of Horus. Town centers provide more population. Increases pop cap by 4. I love this. I think this is a really nice one. Just means that you've got a couple more units in the back pocket. Really starts to stack up as well, you know, once you start adding in the second, the third TC. So I think this is a great relic, and when I see this, I definitely opt for it. So I'm going to give that an S tier. And then our fourth and final relic, I can't see it. It might have already been picked up. Indeed, it has. It's going to be Ptar's Scepter. Farms are cheaper. This is I think this is a really good relic. It just allows your transition over to farms a lot more effectively. I think that's definitely an S tier relic as well. So well played. Over to hashtag to already pick that up. Hersier on Hersier action. Throwing Axeman at the back. It's going to fall back behind the gates. Just keep himself nice and safe. And you can see the walls are starting to come up here for Illuminati. Looking to really keep himself nice and protected up in this pocket in the north. Does need to be careful. Obviously, both players on one base at the moment, so there is going to be that threat of the fast heroic timing attack. A lot of raiding cavalry coming out as well. This is one of my favorite things to do when I'm playing as the Norse. Get a lot of raiding cavalry out. Make sure that you can always play into Bragi. Get those flaming weapons, and the reality is no one's going to be able to run away from you when you've got raiding cavalry. And no one's going to be able to fight you when you've got plus 80% damage. More upgrades on the way through. Have a look at this. We've got ballistics on the way. 200 wood, 200 gold. I don't even know why you're making ballistics. I don't think ballistics even affects your throwing axemen. I'm 99% sure it doesn't, because you get an upgrade from Skadi that increases your tracking on that. So I think that's quite literally useless. Maybe until you've got Goddies, then maybe it could be argued. But raiding cav are going to be making their way to the north. You can see that villager count in favor of Illuminati. He's up by about 5. So even though he hasn't gone for the second TC, he is definitely booming at the moment. Trying his best to spot out any villagers that he can find. Hashtag on that north side. Going to be rounding the corner. You can see that gold has been exhausted. Now, keep in mind, Illuminati does have the option to throw down the Dwarven mine. Probably going to be saving it at least for the heroic age. That's the ideal time. But Vils now going to be rushing towards the sentry tower. Do garrison inside. He's all safe. Hearse is here as well. I'd love to see a couple of herdmen, just because there's a lot of raiding cav here, and we're just kind of throwing away all of our units needlessly. Oh, you hate to see it. Illuminati trying his best to path around, but yeah, just loses everything in the process. And this is tough because you're behind enemy lines now. And, well, there's plenty of villagers just waiting for it. Oh, he's thrown down the Dwarven mine. So you can see he's got so many vills on that. So many dwarves. Still, is he looking to pick up upgrades? Not at the moment. He is instead picking up... Is this boiling oil? No, crenellations. Herdmen are finally coming out. So we do have that hard counter cavalry unit that is here. And it's great that he's mixed these in, because it's very difficult to fight against these units without having your own throwing axemen, which will be able to counter the herdmen. But let's check in with hashtag and see how he's doing on the south side of the map, because to me that was a bit of a throw right there from Illuminati. The fact that he's kept all of his vills alive, which is really, really important. But the elephant in the room to me, oh, can you not wall to this? That's kind of painful, isn't it? That really sucks, man. Yeah, to me the elephant in the room is the fact that you've just gone and lost all of these units. And I mean, I don't know how much he knew about the army composition of his opponent, but normally you want to avoid fighting unless you've got those counter units out already on the field. Herdman now Keep in mind, they do have plenty of hack damages or hack armor. 47% hack armor. That's a lot of hack armor, and it means that they're going to be able to survive pretty effectively against any of these raiding cavalry that are coming through. Age up's now on the way, though, for our Odin player in the south. A little bit of a score advantage to Illuminati. He's going to be going for Skadi. Okay, so I don't know if... What options does he have? Let's double check. He's got Skadi, and I think he's got the trees. Is that right? Yeah, he's got the trees from Njord. You could definitely look to try and break him with the trees from Njord. Skadi... I mean, how do you play it with Skadi? You freeze his army and then run around killing his vills? Is that the play? I guess that kind of makes sense, but you've already at such a massive advantage. Wait, what is going on with this military number? I just realized this is totally bugged out the wazoo. 416 military population? Excuse me? That is a bug. Ladies and gentlemen, do not worry. Do not fear. That is a bug. There is no way he's got that much. It's probably closer to like, what, 41 or something. Why is it doing that? That is strange. In fact, hold on. It's not closer to 41. It's closer to like 0. No, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so he's got 8 military units at the moment. A lot of them are herdmen as well. But throwing axemen now going to be coming out for him. We'll be thinking about heading up to the heroic age. All right. Adding in an additional longhouse now. How's he doing on that resource count? You can see he's got 2,000 food in the bank. I tell you what, this is just where you want to throw all your villagers onto gold, exactly like how he's doing right now. The only trouble is you need to get up to the heroic age quickly. I think he's spending a lot of resources on his Dwarven Armory. Can we double check and see what upgrades he's actually got? Oh my god, he's got bronze upgrades. Oh my lord, he's got double bronze upgrades already. And, oh gosh. Wow, he's got so many upgrades. Look at this, he's got... Hold on. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 8 upgrades that have come through. I think only 7 of them from the Dwarven Armory, but that explains the difference in that economic count that's coming through. Age Up is now online. It's going to be Skadi as well that he's opted for, so both players going into Skadi. The question's going to be about whether he's going to be able to hold this push that comes in. If he can hold this push, and technically he should be able to, the only thing is he spent a lot of resources. You got to really appreciate how expensive those technologies are. If we just take a quick look here at the Dwarven Armory, don't worry, get over there, Drongo. 300, 300, like 300, 200. These are really expensive, man. That's insane. That's basically your age 3 that you've spent in those. I don't know, man. I just can't really justify it. It feels like a bit of a trap. But he's going to continue adding in more and more units. We do now see the Frost Giant is through. Only one Frost Giant on the south. More and more military being added onto this position. I'm loving this combination as well. Raiding cavalry together with the throwing axemen. Also going to start mixing in those portable rams, which are very difficult to deal with. You really got to respect those. Hill Fort going to be coming in on this north side. Indeed, this is the last gold he's got, and you can see just a level of turtle that he's really playing now. So it's very much an element of turtle. Like, you've got the town center here safely behind. Everything's kind of boxed in around these outposts. He's got the hill fort, complete wall in towards the front side, but the portable rams are here. He's got 4 rams already. Look how quickly they break down that wall. This is not going to be easy. Now on the defensive, Herdman moving up together with the throwing axemen on the back. Not a lot of military units at the moment, even though the page says a different amount. Freeze comes off. It's a double freeze. We got a double freeze. It's a deep freeze. If you've never seen it before, now is the time to take a photo. They've both frozen each other's armies, completely cancelled out the god power. Now, who does this benefit? I would argue that this benefits Illuminati because he's on the defensive, so it means he's able to get his reinforcements in nice and close. But you can now start to hear those reinforcements from Hashtag coming in from the south side. Another thing to note is that the deep freeze occurs at the beginning of the god power and it keeps them frozen for a long time. But any new units that enter that deep freeze state, they're not going to be affected by that. So what you've got here are herdmen that are attacking a portable ram that's got 100% armor, and then the raiding cav are attacking those herdmen. They're able to do damage. Freeze, it's thawed, and now breaking out. A lot of units going to be finally meeting their maker, rather. You can see the Frost Giants in the back. Not a lot for them to focus down on. Portable Rams just going to be working their magic, and it is an all-over Red Rover situation. I don't see any way Illuminati holds this right now. It's going to be a struggle for him. Maybe if the Hill Fort was up the front, it would have been a different story. But he is completely... Oh, okay, that building, whatever that building was, that was... No, he's up to 1.9k! What is this bug right now? Oh, I tell you what, I'm disappointed to see that our turtle didn't win today. I was very excited for Illuminati and the turtle behavior, the turtle gameplay. The ultimate turtle strategy just gets foiled right now. We've got a Jarl out here, going to try and defend. He's got a decent amount of pierce armor, but remember that these throwing axemen, they don't have pierce attack. They've got hack attack from range. Raiding Cab come through up to the back looking to equalize. Still apparently 1.8k military units out for Illuminati, or at least 1.8 military pop. Town center going to go down, and that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't see any way he holds through this. He's tried his best to play it out. I'm going to say well played to him. I think going back to the drawing board, though, I would be saying, okay, you know, do I really need to get... Oh my God, he went to iron... He went to iron weapons, man. Wow. Like, you got to respect... He is obviously trying... He's trying something, right? Like, that's the reality. He's trying something. He has spent so many resources this game on these upgrades. And at the end of the day, you got to remember how little they're actually providing. So I think it works out to be about 10%, somewhere in that region, to your bonus. And it's not even 10% because it's got diminishing returns on it. It's 10% of the difference between, well, 10% of the difference that's left, if that makes sense. So if you've got 40% armor and you get 10%, it doesn't go to 50%. They add 10% of the difference. So the difference between 40 and 100% is 60. So they'll give you 6% basically. So it's definitely not as effective as some may be led to believe. But it looks like Illuminati is fighting until the last second. Even though his score's managing to keep up, we know the truth. We know the reality. He's got a couple of markets at the top. Village center going to be going down here. Illuminati, I really respect it, man. I feel like I'm watching, you know, a 2007 game of Age of Empires 3 right now. This is exactly what I would do. You know, if I can hide in the corner and he doesn't find me, then I can rebuild and maybe there's a chance I win. But the reality is that hashtag is just overwhelming in his numbers at this stage of the game. Oh, we got a little bit of a switch to heavy. Berserk's now going to be coming out on the defense. Okay, Drongo, hold your horses. Don't get too excited just yet. And he's got decent upgrades on these, remember. Remember, he's got decent upgrades. Yow. Is he still in it? Is he still in it? Market gets dropped down in his enemy's base. He's going to start building the town center back. Okay. All right. Illuminati, not going to lie. You had me in the first half. Where do we go to from here? So, is he just going to start trading? Is that the game plan? No, that doesn't make sense. There's no way you can defend it. Oh my lord, village account. 0 to 52. Mythic Age now coming through. It's going to be... He's going through Boulder. Boulder? I feel like I'm being personally attacked right now. Boulder. That's going to allow him to Ragnarok. Not that he needs to do that, but it's there if he needs to. If he wants to. Town center's back up for Illuminati. Okay. So let's take a look at how many resources he actually spent here on these upgrades. So I think he's got... Is it iron shields? No, he's gone for iron weapons. Okay. So he spent 600, so 1,200 plus 1,800 plus... so 2,300, 2,800. He spent 2,800 on 5 vills. That's 4 vills, sorry. 4 vills. 2,800 resources on 4 vills. So you really have to... I think, like, looking back on this from the perspective of Illuminati, he's obviously trying to test it out and see, okay, how far can we push this? Oh, big damage from the Fire Giant comes in. Massive AoE on that backside. A lot of damage coming through. Fire Giant does not mess around here. Nice little cleanup that comes in. Let's see if we can get that AoE again. That was very, very nice. Here we go. Here we go. Serve it up. It's good AoE damage, but you know, I was expecting a Kamehameha to be bigger than that. Looks like Fire Giant will be going down. But yeah, so I think there's definitely like a component of like, is it really worth the reward for researching this technology? So if we were to take a look at like the starting techs, you're talking 100, 100, 75, 75. You know, these are all really, really good ones to research. Dwarven Breastplate as well. Another great tech because it's very cheap. But as soon as you start pushing towards those higher tier techs, you have to be able to justify them from a military perspective and not just from the perspective of, oh, I'm playing one base, so this is fine for me to get. Because it very clearly isn't when you are getting them in lieu of military numbers here. So upgrade's going to continue coming in, and hold your horses. Illuminati is now starting to push out. Numbers still not that inspiring just yet. But the village center at the back is going to start pumping vills. He's got the main town center as well. He's up against 75 villagers on the side of his enemy, though. Settlements being taken all around the map. He's got 1, 2, 3, and adding in a 4th one. Not for long, though. So he's going to go down. And Illuminati, have we got a comeback on our hands? Potentially. This is the 5th settlement that's being taken now. Well, technically the 4th, as the 2nd one has now been taken back by Illuminati. Throwing Axeman. Persia. Remember, the throwing Axeman has got that bonus damage against infantry. These are all infantry up here. Actually, how many throwing axemen have we got? We've got 11 throwing axemen. They look pretty similar once they get all their silver upgrades. Town center about to come online. 5 seconds. He's got 2 options. Stick it or fight it. About 1 second left on that bad boy. Oh, I tell you what, he's going to wish that he stuck it now, isn't he? Oh, you hate to see it. Now he's going to try and stick it at the... Oh, no. Oh, no. You hate to see it. You really do. And now he can't defend. And now he's going to lose the entire... Oh, my God. Oh, gosh. He's going to try. No. You hate to see it. Illuminati. Poor guy. He's really pulling out all stops to try and win this game, but I just don't see it happening. I can't see how he's able to overcome. Even with the 1.8k population in military, that is an interesting bug. I want to review the replay to see exactly when that happened. But yeah, that is an impressive bug. Did we reviewed the relics, right? Yeah, we did. I don't think... Yeah, it was only the 1 S tier, right? I think we had this one down here. Yeah, Ptah's Scepter. Reduces them down quite a bit, the cost on these farms. But yeah, I think that's part of the reason why Ptah's Scepter is so nice. Just because it allows you to get into that farming transition so much easier. And definitely rewards you a fair bit in that regard. Alright, more upgrades coming through. So finally, we see now for Hashtag, he's picking up his tier 1 upgrades only just now. And normally we do see players delay these upgrades quite a bit. I think realistically, you've got to remember that like the weapons upgrade affects everything, right? Like it affects all your human soldiers, it affects your heroes. And for me, that's why I think like the attack upgrade is really, really good. When it comes to the armor upgrades, you've got one that affects your pierce armor and one that affects your hack armor. So I think there's a little bit more ambiguity there about the value proposition for those 2 armor upgrades. But I know that for the attack one, definitely worthwhile picking that one up. I wouldn't say ASAP, but definitely early on in the game because it's quite a bit of an investment as well just going into the armory in the first place. It's like, what, 150? I think it's 150? 120. 120. Is that with that's with the Norse bonus, right? That reduces the cost of buildings. All right, throwing Axeman coming in. Portable Rams once again. Looks like we've got round 2 on the cards, baby. We've got the... I was going to say the Dwarven Fortress. That is not a Dwarven Fortress. That's a Dwarven Armory. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be going too well. You can see just how many numbers are on this front line. 172 population versus 48. Do not be misled by the 1.8k military numbers that you see here. 4th town center is online. 5th town center is online. We've got a very happy Hashtag right now, that is for sure. Portable Rams now starting to really pick up numbers. Meanwhile, towards that backline, it looks like we did have a little bit of trade with Illuminati. I think we might have to avoid casting Illuminati games just because I don't want to be here for like 65 minutes just watching Illuminati in the corner with his village center like, we are going to win this, boys. We are going to get this game. I respect the grinder. I respect the hustle. Right on board with him. Just to witness the defense. I love the way that he's only scouted 2/3 of the map. The last third of the map is just completely undiscovered. You know, we don't need to know about that side of the map. Dwarven Armory. And that's going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, Illuminati resigns and the game is ended. Hashtag coming out victorious today. Unfortunately, our Dwarven Thor wasn't able to pull out that ultimate turtle strategy, but perhaps we'll see it sometime in the future. You got to be careful of the Dwarven Armory. This is definitely a huge trap I think that going for those early 3 upgrades out of the gate makes a lot of sense, but anything after that, you have to be able to justify it from a military perspective. You have to be able to say, okay, you know, I've got 40 units out now. I can justify picking up my 2nd level of attack upgrade. I just can't really see it any other way. Let's dive in and take a look at that post-game, though. Get a bit of an idea on what that villager count started off at. If we have a look at the civilian count, you can see just how far ahead Thor gets. Like, this is ridiculous. So many villagers ahead in the early game, and continues that trend throughout the mid game. It's only until things come to a crawl after both of them hit the heroic age that we realize it's all over Red Rover. Let's take a look at the military unit count. Fortunately, it doesn't tell the story of the 1800 military population, but it still tells a good story. Unfortunately, you can just see that the Odin player did a much better job of converting those resources into units, whereas a lot of that resource count was going into upgrades for Columinati. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Go catch Columinati on Twitch. I'll leave a link in the description, and of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.